The Nightscaping Bruteliter is a tough, robust well light fixture that is well suited to damp and wet environments. However, there are 3 things you should do to ensure the Bruteliter remains watertight. Occasionally, hardware on any fixture has the potential to rattle loose during a bumpy transport, so it's always a good idea to ensure that the gland nut on the cable entry at the bottom of the fixture is snug, but not over-tightened. The Bruteliter is equipped with a 5/8 inch thick hardened glass top that is nestled into a very robust rubber gasket. Now, one of the ways moisture can enter this fixture is by improperly tightening the top or by insufficiently cleaning the gasket and base from dirt and debris, especially during field servicing. The gasket and base must be wiped clean after installing the lamp, otherwise there is a chance moisture could find a way in, left by a gap from the debris. Additionally, if the top is not tightened down evenly, it will leave an uneven balance of pressure on the rubber gasket, and moisture could be allowed to find its way inside. When installing the top, gradually tighten down the top in a star pattern, much like you would if you were tightening the lug nuts on your tire. Tighten down each side in equal measure and repeat the pattern and process until the screws are tight. A word of caution though, do not use a power drill to tighten the screws down, as this can create an uneven amount of pressure, over tighten, and even strip the screws. This process is best done by hand. By far and away the most common source of moisture finding its way into the Bruteliter is through the gap between the insulation and stranded wiring inside the RJ or round jacket cable insulation itself. When a fixture has finished a night cycle, the fixture chamber is quite warm and has a positive pressure that wants to push moisture out of the cavity. However, as it cools down, it creates an even stronger negative pressure or a vacuum that will draw moisture from the outside ground up through the gap to the inner insulation, and if the end is not sealed off properly, creates a path for water to travel. The most effective way to offset this infiltration of water is to completely seal the connection point with an adhesive-lined heat shrink connection, or at least seal the end of the RJ cable. To do this, carefully score the insulation about 3 to 4 inches further back, taking care not to cut into the conductors beneath. After the insulation has been lightly scored, simply bend it back and forth at the score point and pull it away. Now, slide the tube until its midpoint sits at the end of the RJ cable insulation. Using a propane torch with a very low output or a heat gun, start heating evenly around the middle of the sleeve tube and work your way back to the end of the shrink sleeve facing the RJ cable side. If you have evenly heated the tube, it will have shrunk to conform to the cable and you'll see clear adhesive glue oozing out the end of the heated sleeve. Repeat the process for the other end with the 3 conductors until you see a good amount of adhesive oozing out that end also. Finally, to seal around the 3 wires fully, take a pair of pliers and gently squeeze the tube to work the adhesive evenly around the 3 wires and the end of the RJ insulation to ensure no gaps remain. Allow it to dry and harden, then connect with a crimp and grease tube or a watertight connection of your preference.